Hey everyone, it's Sammy from Push Square, and I wanted to put together a review for Matterfall for you today. So it's been like I think a couple of months since the outstanding Nex Machina released, and if you haven't watched my review for that, make sure you seek it out on the channel. But Housemarque's clearly been very busy because here's its next game already, and it's the long-awaited Matterfall, which is its first side-scroller I believe since Outland on the PS3. But is it any good? Well, I'm going to get into that in my review in a moment, but before I do, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more PS4 stuff because it does really help me out. With that said, let's get into it.
So now, with civilians missing and prototype war machines on the rampage, right in the middle of the biggest evacuation in history, someone has to slip in, clean up the mess, and keep their mouth shut. A freelancer. A fixer, they call it. That's me, Avalon Darrow, at your service.
So I think Matterfall is kinda what Mighty No. 9 was supposed to be. I mean, I guess there are lots of differences in terms of art direction and stuff like that, but both games are built around a dash mechanic. So in Matterfall, the way the game works is you control a female super soldier who's definitely not inspired by Samus Aran. No, but you move and shoot with the analog sticks, and what you have to do is kind of dash through bullets. Your dash can also be used to stun enemies, and it'll increase your score. So when you kill an enemy, sometimes they'll leave behind a bomb, and you can then detonate these bombs using your matter weapon, which is mapped to the L2 trigger. So basically you can then chain these explosions together for screen clearing combos, and that's kind of the primary gameplay loop. But there's a lot more to think about because obviously there's platforming, there's almost bullet hell sections, and you build up an overdrive which temporarily makes you more potent in combat. And I kind of feel like the game is really hard. The control system is quite unorthodox because the jump button is mapped to the R1 trigger, and this is intentional because it wants you to keep your thumbs on the sticks at all times. But it's like even on rookie difficulty, the game is incredibly challenging, and there are multiple difficulty tiers for you to master. So you need to really practice if you want to get the high scores on the leaderboards. But for me, the game feels like you're rubbing your tummy and patting your head at times. I mean, when I was in the groove, I felt like the coolest person on earth, but one mistake and it can be difficult to re-find your rhythm. I don't know, the game just doesn't feel quite as pure or as tight as say Nex Machina or Resogun, and while it does have many great gameplay ideas which shine through, I don't know, it just doesn't come together quite as cleanly as I'd have liked it to. But make no mistake, it's still a very good game. The visuals, as you'd expect of Housemarque, are absolutely incredible, portraying a kind of city that's being evacuated. There's loads going on, and the voxel effects, as have become customary from Housemarque, are as impressive as ever. It does feel a little bit lighter than more modern Housemarque titles though, I will say that. There are augmentations you can use to add perks to your playstyle, or additional weapons like shotguns and grenade launchers, but aside from the leaderboards, that's all there really is to the game. There are 3 worlds, each with its own boss fight, and that's it really. And the levels are pretty similar as a whole, so it's not like there's a massive amount of environmental variety, and the enemy types are repeated quite a lot too, so it's like your mileage in this game will depend on how much you want to get the high scores, which is totally 100% fine, but Housemarque's been pretty good with its recent titles, adding a lot of extra content on top, and this game feels quite raw in comparison. It's almost like it's been built with a lower budget. But do I recommend it? I mean, yeah, I do. When it comes together and you're in the groove, it's super fun. And look, if you're the kind of player that enjoys to get good, as they say on forums, then you're going to find a game that will really challenge you here. But Nex Machina was always going to be a tough act to follow, and I don't think Matterfall quite pulls it off. But let me know whether you're still planning to pick it up in the comments section. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and until next time, thank you so much for watching.